it's Danny. Welcome back to Dine It Frugal. On today's episode we are making a super easy but super flavoursome slow cooker chili con carne or chili recipe. I wanted to show you how to make this because we love it and it's so versatile. You can have it over rice, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, you can have it over tortillas with some sour cream and guacamole or avocado. It is such a great recipe to have and I love to keep it in the freezer, so I wanted to take you along for the ride and show you how I make my slow cooker chili recipe. Alright, so in my pan, this is the first thing that we need to do, and this is the most labor intensive part, is we need to brown our beef mince. So I have about 500 grams of beef mince here, and to that I'm going to add my onions. Now this part is completely optional. If you don't want to cook your onions first, you don't have to, you can just throw them in the slow cooker. But I find that, and I think I've said this before, that if I have recipes that call for onion that are going to be cooked for a long period of time, I like to get them to the translucent stage first before I go ahead and put them in. Otherwise I just find they don't cook down properly. That's just me. So what we're going to do is we're going to brown our mince and cook our onions, and then I will bring you back and show you how to put together the rest of the recipe. I did forget to also mention that my beef is 80% meat or 80% beef, 20% fat. If you're buying a leaner type of meat, then just go ahead and put in about a tablespoon of oil into your pan whilst you're browning the mince. I didn't do that because it's going to render out enough fat. The other thing I want to mention is I've put the link to the recipe down in the description box. I've got that over on my website, so if you do want to make this, click on the link down in the description and it'll take you over to the recipe and you can get a printable copy over there as well. Okay, so our mince is beautifully brown now, our onions are cooked, and I want to show you what it looks like before we move over to put the rest of this recipe together. This is what our delicious meat looks like. Hopefully you can see there that there's caramelization on the meat. It's just not brown, so that's where a lot of flavor comes from. So when you brown your mince, you also want it to have these little beautiful caramelized bits on it. That's it for this part. Let's go and put the rest of it together. So here I have my slow cooker insert. I'm just doing a little batch today. I'm still yet to get around to doing a big batch like I did with the slow cooker bolognese. If you haven't watched that video, I'll put a link in the description so you can go ahead and watch it, or I'll put a little iCard. So all I'm going to do is put all of my beautiful caramelized mince into the slow cooker insert. And I'm quietly hoping that this is all going to fit in this one. Mince is in, and now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. So I have kidney beans, and I measure, for my videos I measure everything out because knowing me, I'll forget something and then we'll have a disaster on our hands. But normally if I'm making this just for my family, I just throw it all into the slow cooker in the portions that are needed. I don't measure everything out. We have some garlic. We have capsicum or sweet peppers. And we were lucky enough to get some from Matt's grandparents' gardens. This recipe actually calls for red capsicum, but this is what I had on hand and this is what I'm using. I have some tomato paste, sugar. I've got some beef stock cubes, and I'm just going to crush those up. My hands are clean. I have a package of Mexican seasoning, and my Mexican seasoning, I just bought this from Kohl's. It's the mild Mexican seasoning, and in here it's got cumin, paprika, chili, sugar, salt, tomato powder, herbs, garlic, onion, and acidity regulator. So I'm just going to add this in. You could probably use a taco seasoning if you can't find this type of seasoning where you are. I just prefer this because it's got all of the seasonings blended in, so I'm going to add that. And I'm starting to wonder if I should actually get my big slow cooker out because I don't think this is all going to fit in this little one. Alright, I'm going to be 2 seconds. I'm going to get my big slow cooker because this is not going to fit and I don't want to clean up a mess on my hands, so give me a second. This is a much better situation. It is definitely not going to overflow on me. I just got this crock pot extra large slow cooker, pressure cooker, the works. I got it on sale at Maya last weekend or the weekend before. And I've cooked in it a few times already and it is totally worth the money. I'm still yet to use the pressure function because I'm a little bit scared of that, but I'll do it eventually. Now, last thing that we need to add into this is our crushed or diced tomatoes. So I have a big can of that. Actually, that's not the last thing that we need to put in. We need to put in a little bit of water as well. So we're gonna add that in. Perfect. So then we have our tomatoes and half a cup of water. So I'm just gonna give that a beautiful big mix around. Actually, the last few times that I've done this, I think I've only used 250 grams of beef, so I've halved the recipe again. So I actually think we're gonna get at least 3, so we're gonna get 1 meal for tonight and then at least another 2 to put in the freezer, which is awesome because I'm really trying to build out my food storage in my freezer so that I can have a bank of meals already in the freezer that I don't have to think about. And as much as I love cooking, if I've worked all day and it's been a busy and a long day, the last thing I want to do is think about cooking dinner. So that's why I love having all of these freezer meals at my disposal. And it also makes the question of what's for dinner a little bit easier to answer. All right, so I think I have mixed this sufficiently. We're going to move over to the slow cooker now, and this is going to cook for, I'm going to say 6 hours on low, and that'll get us to where we want to be. So let's move over to the slow cooker. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my insert back in. I just want to scrape down these sides a little bit because I don't want it to burn. There we go. One thing you'll have noticed is I haven't seasoned this with salt and pepper or any other kind of seasoning as yet. I'm actually going to taste at the end and see what it needs because there's a lot of like salty ingredients. So you've got beef stock, you've got the tomato paste, you've got even the tomatoes, the diced tomatoes themselves that have a little bit of salt. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let it cook all the way down and then at the end we'll balance the flavors at that point. Okay, so I'm going to cook this for 6 hours on low. It's on the slow cooker setting. Trust me, I'm still getting used to this machine. It has so many features that I'm just like, ooh, okay, I need to get used to this. And then I'm going to hit the start button, and that's going to be it for the next 6 hours. I'm just going to let it go. I will stir it occasionally. Alright, so that's it for the first part. I'm going to go ahead and let it cook for 6 hours. I'm just going to leave it alone, and I will be back to show you what it looks like once the cooking time is done. I'm going to go and get some stuff done around the house. I'm probably going to go outside and organise my freezer. If you saw it in the bolognese video, it looks like a absolute dump truck. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to do some housework, and then we'll all be ready for dinner when we come back later. So I'll see you then. Okay, I'm back. It's been anywhere between 8 and 10 hours since we first made the chili this morning. I had this cooking for 6 hours on low, and then after that I've just kept it on keep warm. So that's all I've done, and I've also seasoned it with salt and pepper. That's all I've done, just seasoned it up nicely with salt and pepper. So we are ready to go ahead and serve dinner now. Some of this is going to end up on baked potatoes. I ended up baking some potatoes in the oven, so that's going to end up on baked potatoes, and the rest of it is going to be portioned up and put into the freezer for the next time that we want baked potatoes or chili with rice or chili with whatever else we're going to serve it with. So let's go and serve dinner. Here I have our baked potatoes. So I just baked them for about, these are on the smaller side, I baked them for about 2 hours in the oven on 180 degrees, and now that we're ready to serve, I'm just going to split them down the middle with my scissors, and then I'm just going to do a couple of cuts across the potato, And these are so nice and soft. I'm just going to use my fork to squish them down like this. And that's now ready for toppings and chili. So there we have it, a super easy slow cooker chili con carne recipe. It tastes amazing, it's so flavoursome. We've slow cooked it for such a long time that there's so much flavour there. I'm really excited to go and have this for dinner, and I'm going to pack up the rest so that we can put it in the freezer and have it on another night. So after I cleaned up everything for dinner and I served up, I actually ended up getting left with 2 more portions of the chili mix. So these are being packed up, they're gonna go straight into the freezer, and I don't have to go through that whole ordeal the next time we wanna have baked potatoes with chili or something else with chili. So that's nice and easy. Just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Hi, it's nice to have you here and share my kitchen with you. I hope you liked this video. I hope you go away and make this chili for yourself, and I will see you next time in the next episode. Bye.